Welcome to A Long Life's Path, inspirational stories, poems, quotes, and songs with Teresa Vogel Millward. Today, I'll be sharing with you the story Prosperity of the Heart. Lori Saunders was carefully studying a map she spread open on the hood of her white BMW 440 Grand Coupe. Her 5-foot 4-inch petite frame was bent over the map like a twig. Her shoulder-length wavy blonde hair was tied back into a ponytail and held together with a blue butterfly clip. Her hazel eyes scanned the lines of the map as her right index finger traced back and forth, trying to locate the road she was supposed to be on. She knew somewhere in these wooded, winding foothills was the location of the antique show. The hills were beautiful this time of year. The air was crisp. The leaves were just starting to change as autumn had arrived. Leaves carpeted the roadside. Lori was glad she dressed in her favorite Levi jeans, Ralph Lauren long-sleeved ivory turtleneck blouse, and a Calvin Klein Miami blue windbreaker. She mused that it would be good to get away from her hectic job as a marketing director for a large corporation in San Francisco. Her career had become her baby. She found out a few years ago she was unable to have children of her own due to a medical condition. Subsequently, her fiancé left her for that very reason. Lori decided to commit her life to her work. She worked her way up in the company, starting there at age 21. Now, at 35, she was reaping the benefits of dedication and diligent work. She usually worked 12-hour days, 6 days a week. She liked the pace and the money, but decided to take a breather for a change. Lori thought she had the correct directions given to her by her best friend, Cindy. Somewhere I may have made a wrong turn, Lori thought to herself. Darn, I must get myself a GPS one day. As she went back into her car, she tossed the open map on the passenger seat. She decided to drive further up the road and stop at the next house for directions. While she was driving, Lori happened to glance at her gasoline gauge and frowned. It was almost empty. Oh no, how did this happen? She said in alarm as she tightly gripped her steering wheel. I thought I had enough gas in my car for this trip. I hope I find a gas station soon, she thought, slightly panicking. After a few minutes, Lori spotted a small house on the left side of the road. As she drove up to the house, Lori noticed the house needed painting. The front lawn was small too, yet it had these beautiful, well cared for red rose bushes. The person who lives here must love to garden, Lori mused. She pulled into the driveway and shut off the engine. As Lori opened her door to get out of her car, a gray mini schnauzer came bounding over to her, barking and wagging its stubby tail at the same time. You seem friendly, Lori laughed as she stretched out her hand for the pup to sniff. A woman emerged from the house while Lori was being approved by the dog. Lori observed that the woman was short, slightly overweight, and had short, gray hair. Lori guessed she was in her 70s, maybe mid-70s. Lori also noticed the woman had few wrinkles and seemed to be aging gracefully. Lori noted that she looked friendly, too. Lori walked over to her and extended her hand in greeting. "Hi, I'm Lori Saunders, and I'm kind of lost," she said awkwardly. "Hello, I'm Martha Holloway. This is Mr. Wiggles," pointing to her dog. "Getting lost up here is easy to do." "Where are you headed?" Lori pulled out her map. She held the map and pointed to a spot marked with a yellow highlighter. "How do I get here?" Lori asked, pointing to the location of the antique show. "Oh, that's easy," Martha said cheerfully. "Make a left turn out of the driveway and go about 4 miles until you see Hadley's General Store. Make a right turn and go up the hill. You'll see a big sign on your left saying Kelsey's Antiques. You can't miss it." "Does the general store sell gas?" Lori asked. "My car is very low on fuel." "Yes, the store has 2 gas pumps," Martha replied. "It comes in handy when you need a few gallons." "Thank you," Lori said as she was folding her map. "I appreciate your help." As Lori opened her car door to leave, Martha asked if she had time for fresh baked cookies and some coffee. "I just baked a batch of molasses cookies. I don't get many visitors up this way," Martha remarked expectantly. Lori glanced at her watch and realized the antique show didn't start for another hour. "I guess I have time for a cookie and some coffee," she said. As Martha ushered Lori into the house, Lori caught a whiff of cinnamon and molasses. She breathed in the sweet aroma. "Baked them this morning," Martha said proudly. As Lori and Martha sat down to cookies and coffee, Lori learned that Martha lived alone. Her husband, Richard, they were married 45 years, died 2 years ago. Her 2 adult children live in another state. Although Martha lived alone, except for her dog, Mr. Wiggles, she seemed quite joyful. Martha further explained even though she wasn't a wealthy woman, she was happy in here as she patted her heart. "Jesus is all I require. He meets my needs. I call it prosperity of the heart." Martha added, "In the Bible, Philippians 4:19 says, 'And this same God, who takes care of me, will supply all your needs from his glorious riches, which have been given to us in Christ Jesus.'" Lori smiled and pondered Martha's words. Lori mused, "Even my gas dilemma?" Lori glanced at her watch. "Oh, the antique show starts in about 10 minutes. I better get going." Lori took a last bite of cookie and a gulp of coffee and rose to leave. Thanks for the cookies, coffee, conversation, and directions. Lori hugged Martha and gave Mr. Wiggles a pat on the head. As Lori walked to her car, Martha's words echoed in her head. Jesus is all I require. Maybe slowing down a bit wouldn't hurt. Money isn't everything. Thanks for watching.